Hey everyone, welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium, and today we are talking about the DS Zelda games. Should they remake the DS Zelda games with traditional controls?
No,
No.
absolutely not. I think they were built around that control scheme, and I felt they did a good job with it. The best uses of certain items are from these games, and this is because of the control scheme. Like, we've seen traditional boomerangs, for example, in almost every Zelda game. They work well in Legend of Zelda and A Link to the Past, and I think they got a little confusing in some of the 3D entries. Like, if you tried using the boomerang without Z targeting, like, there's one puzzle in the Spirit Temple where you have to do that, and it's a mess. You never know where it's going, you don't feel like you have control over it, and you can't really do anything fun with it. That totally changes with Phantom Hourglass, because that's the first item you get in the first dungeon. You have full control over it, it makes for great puzzle solving.
It's one of the few games in the series where its main gimmick is also just like what the game is, like how it controls and plays, and they like build off of it throughout the game. They have more complex puzzles pertaining to various touchscreen controls throughout the game.
So none of the items and none of the gameplay really in Phantom Hourglass at any point really bothered me or felt like, man, I wish this was traditional controls. This is more so in Spirit Tracks. There are a few items, the pinwheel in particular, you have to blow into the microphone to send that gust of wind, and then also with using the Spirit Flute, having to blow into the microphone, and then to me, that went from fun gameplay to
Right, because
tedious.
there was some microphone stuff in Phantom Hourglass.
There's only I think 3 instances of that in the entirety of Phantom Hourglass. Whereas in Spirit Tracks, the first item you get in the game is a microphone-based weapon, and you use it regularly throughout the whole game. And then the Spirit Flute you use regularly, using the microphone, using the the controls that they offered, didn't do anything to me. But the overall gameplay still fundamentally, I think, worked well. I enjoyed the simplicity of it. Phantom Hourglass has no buttons. You can literally play this game with it sitting on a desk and you holding just a stylus. That simplicity, I think, made it very accessible. That was part of the era of the DS where, what was it, the Blue Ocean strategy, I think they called it, or something? They were trying to get new people to play video games.
Honey, the girls are here. I know, Mom. Play on, play on.
I don't see what the benefit would be to be releasing Phantom Hourglass with traditional controls. I don't see it at all. I suppose it's easy to play on. It's playable on the Switch because there's no stylus on the Switch. Like, how do you bring that to a modern console with its existing controls? They have it on the Wii U, and there's multiple different control schemes. I have zero interest in ever playing it on the Wii U. The idea of playing it on a Wii U that's sideways, that's vertical,
Yeah.
and the touch controls only affecting the bottom screen portion of the game,
It seems weird, yeah.
it feels weird to me.
What about it if it was for the sake of people who feel the same way about just the controls in general as you do about, like, the Spirit Flute? I don't want to, like, accuse anyone of anything, but as you said, it's like the Blue Ocean or whatever you're talking about. Like, if this wide audience can get into it, I think someone who can play a harder Zelda game could probably pick up the controls of this,
I'm not sure if there's an audience out there that thinks, I love the Spirit Flute portion of Spirit Tracks. And I think there's probably far less people out there that think, I hated how you swung your sword. I hated how you used the boomerang. I don't think there's as many people like that.
Yeah. It definitely exists, though.
There are probably, people that, like, I want to use a D-pad and nothing else.
Uh-huh.
Anything else is like, what is this nonsense?
If you could do both, it would, like, cast the net a little bit wider. Like, hey, you could play it either way.
I'm trying to think of the boomerang in particular right now. So it's like, maybe if you, like, held a button down, maybe you hold R down, that brings out your boomerang, and then you use the D-pad to trace its pathway or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine puzzles that take a second with the stylus controls, like hold L, bam, You might have to be pressing a D-pad to be making a path, and a puzzle that takes a second now takes like 7, 8, 9 seconds or something to do. I think that game was developed well with the controls that they had. I think if you change it, it would make for an awkward experience.
Right. The other question I had for you was, would you like to see more games like this?
There's more territory to explore. There definitely is.
Yeah.
I feel that they could still even do more with some of the inventory. I feel like they didn't advance enough with that in Spirit Tracks. The boomerang carried over. We had the pinwheel, but that was like a microphone-based weapon. We had the whip, which was nice, but it was sort of like the grappling hook. You know, we had the sand rod, which was cool, a fun little item. But then, like most of the other items were carryover items. Yeah, maybe there's more clever ideas for items they could use. Maybe a larger inventory. Maybe you have more than 6 items.
Kind of take what worked about both games and maybe make it into a better third game of the trilogy. I don't know where that would go. Like you said, it wouldn't probably work well on like the Switch. They're still kind of supporting the 3DS, but it's been mostly remakes. Maybe that could be where we see like Zelda's first mobile game.
I think you need the stylus to make that work. Maybe they could build it this way, but like with your finger. But I don't know if that would have the same effect as the stylus controls. But maybe that's a possibility. But I think the 2 games, it's run its course. Mm-hmm. And I think if they introduce a third one, it might actually garner more negative response than positive response. You know, we've sort of talked about the different types of games they could make at this point. You know, they could go to traditional 2D games. They can do maybe like another Ocarina of Time 3D type title in that graphics engine or that style of gameplay. There's a lot of options they can do, or explore something new.
I feel about it kind of how I do about the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask 3D situation to a lesser extent. You know, we have this engine and we did these 2 remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Why not explore a new game with this system we have? I kind of feel that way about those games. Like I feel about it like way less as strongly as I do about those. But I do think I'd be open to that if it came out. I wouldn't have a negative reception.
That would be totally out of left field if they did.
It would be. I'm not saying this is likely. I'm just saying that I would be interested in a way.
I'd probably love it, but it's just so unlikely that it makes me think that I might not like it.
And it's not. It's not what you're hoping for.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
They're on the list of next Zelda game things you would want. It's probably more towards the bottom. Yeah. Same for me too. But
if they had like 8 different teams working on Zelda games. And this
what a
was
world.
And this was one of the 8 teams or something, and there's a new Zelda game every like 9 months or something.
What if just all the video game companies just made Zelda instead?
Yeah, there's only one video game now. This is like, you know, the Stalinist world here.
It's a Zelda dictatorship here.
Yeah. Only Zelda games, one every 3 months. There's 8 different styles.
Pick your favorite. I like it. Yeah. I hope for that dystopia.
Yeah.
So touch controls. What do you guys like them? You like those games? Do you want to see more? Give our video a like if you enjoyed it. Check out all our other videos. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.